Okay, so today's obviously the graduate show, and let's try it like that. I might have to do a Jadoop in a second. Oh, and I put this mic right in front of my face. So this week is the least amount of graduates we've had in a very long time. I don't know if that's because of summer or what, but in any case, it makes the show a little bit more luxurious. I can take my time. I don't feel any rush to do it. Sometimes I'm like, oh my God, we got 30 of these things. We got to get through them all. Not today. I got myself a delicious cup of coffee. And the hilarious thing I'll share, no one's even watching right now. That's okay. But the hilarious thing I will share is I had this vision that for the under 1,000 show, if you could get an AI to just go through all of the things I've said and then match it with certain kinds of positions, the AI could just do Jesse speak for the under 1,000 show. Because I feel like under 1,000 show, I'm pretty dialed in to what I'm looking for, what I say. Yeah, it's a little bit more complicated over 1,000, but you might be able to do it there too. All right, I do want to check one quick thing here, and that is on the announcements. Yeah, so we also announce these graduates on our Discord channel. Not everybody who is in the training program is in the Discord channel, though. So that's just a special thing if you are in the Discord channel. Okay, I might have to Jadoop the layout in a second, but let's read first what Jared says, who's graduated once before already. My wife and I have finally recovered from our move from Texas to Colorado. I didn't play enough classical games over that time, but can change that starting today. The only reason I'm graduating is because the annotation work I put in previously is still elevating my rating. Good. I must work a lot harder if I want to keep this momentum going. I'm not sure how to organize my thoughts while playing and during tests, and I'm still not sure what I should do to stop thinking so chaotically when I'm under time pressure. When I'm playing, I know that I don't look at all my options before I move on to analyzing the next move. I think the same thing is happening when I do the tactics test. Additionally, my unstructured thinking leads me to being confused even when I have my own annotation guiding me in the web browser. What do I need to do so that I can make my OTB thoughts as analytical and precise as my analysis? So grateful that everyone in the dojo helping me to see shortcomings in my game, even if I'm not sure what to do about it yet. Okay, that was a great comment. Okay, so a couple things. When we do, let's say, tactics puzzles, right? We are always going to be doing a higher level, performing at a higher level than we would during a game. Because during a game, we don't know if the tactic is there. Also, when we're analyzing, we're going to be generally often at a higher level because we don't have the clock ticking. There's not the frenetic pressure, the anxiety. I was thinking maybe I should try Xanax, see if that helps me during my games. And the anxiety really can, and for this happens to everybody, not just people who have diagnosed anxiety issues. But when you're sitting there at the board, it makes it a lot more difficult to just think clearly, to think slowly and clearly. And so one of the things that you should know is you might feel all these things you're saying, but you got to say everyone in your cohort is going to be the same. So this process of getting better is going to be a process of thinking better. And, I don't always try to sell chess, but if I was going to sell chess, I would say, look, what you're doing when you're getting stronger is you're becoming a more disciplined thinker, more objective about your own, the bad moves you made or even the good moves you made, right? To be objective and clear about what you're doing over the board. I don't know if I'm going to make the hard sell, but that's the sell that I would make. And so I just want you to see that that's a very organic thing that's going on. And if you keep doing the annotation, keep doing the games, the tests, you will improve. More than anything, it's repetition and practice that you need. I made myself a delicious coffee. Oh, it was Graham. Subscribe with Prime. Thank you very much. Okay, let's click on Jared and see what's going on with Jared. Also, Jared, if you're in the chat, let me know. Around Colorado, beautiful. Well, Colorado, I grew up in New Mexico, and but Colorado's bumping, man. Bumping. So, and I know they got some cool tournaments up there, too. Okay, so 607, he made it. Obviously, some cool progress is going on here. We look at this. We want him to do the tactics test. He's got the checkmate test going on here. And this is new, actually, where can I click on this? And it just takes me right to it. Okay, that's cool. And presumably this does the same thing. Okay, all right. Dude, our website gets better every day. We got minions. We got minions working in there. They're doing things. Okay. So, let's take a look. Clubs. Oh, loads of clubs. Denver Dojo. There it's growing. Okay, then we got some activity. Somebody said today she didn't like the pie graph. And I was like, a pie graph, it looks pretty good to me. She wanted bars or something. So I don't know. I've kind of gotten used to the pie graph. I really like it when people log both their time and the total score. You get a real nice reflection of what's going on here. I personally don't log, say I'm doing this stream. It's about chess, but I'm not logging it as non-dojo time. It is dojo time, but it's not part of the program. Anyways, so I think other people do it different ways, right? But I definitely think it's good to log your dojo time, get a real sense of what you're doing. And then looks like great macros too, heavy on the tactics. All right, so let's look at some games. And this is Jared. And of course, we will encourage Jared to go play in the Denver. Some great comments you see here. Anyone can make a comment on your games. So now we can say clock usage. I don't know what happened there. We'll see. Let's see what time control this was. So 30 plus 30. It looks like both players just we'll see what happened around that point. But something happened where they were just like, it's over. So white played maybe what they thought were opening moves until 12. And we'll see if that's true. Okay, so this is a dojo game. Beautiful. We have these great tournaments. Fine so far. Fine. Weird, right? Totally weird. Now, something I really want to stress, this is why you're going to get made fun of if you're a London player here, is there are moments when this move, C3, makes sense, okay? But here it doesn't make sense. And so this is one of the reasons we say don't study openings yet. It's not time. Because what would be far better is if you just made all these developing moves and then said to yourself, okay, the move that I know that I want to make is this one, so I'm just going to do it. And if you didn't think of the castling, you would consider this move. Those are your developing moves. This plays no purpose right now. Right? You're just doing it because you have it as part of some kind of setup. Okay. A little weird, right? Now, one of the things I want you to see is black has taken up a lot of time. Right? He wasted this tempo and now this tempo. Bishop g3 is not a ridiculous move. But what I want you to see is if you just castle, then you gain a tempo. Right? Because you lose a tempo when you play bishop g3. By tempo, we just mean getting your people out. And if he takes, well, then we're going to get a nice E file and then later plant this bad boy here. Okay, now black rushes to take, probably shouldn't. Indeed, now they got to deal with that H-pawn. And now you got to wonder why we're not taking on C2, my friend, right? So, you concluded that you couldn't take it yet. Let's just check. Boom, boom, boom. Now that would be the move to scare me, because now the bishop isn't coming back, right? I don't know if we're done though. Let's say I go queen c2, and on knight f6 I will definitely take it with some very, well, it's it's some spicy sauce. It's some spicy sauce. In any case, this is something I think it would have been interesting to consider taking the pawn, and here black should definitely play just h6. Just h6. Okay, so knight f6. Castles, good move. What I want to say, Jared, that I really like about your game, even though you've played this so fast, is that besides the move c3, you've basically been on target for developing your pieces. And that's what we really want. Okay, now it's time to take. But why would we take with the rook, my friend? No, we're going to take with the bishop. We take with the bishop. Yeah, you won a pawn. You win a pawn, and you're going to activate the H file now for your pieces. That's right. Uh-oh. Jared, I already looked at this one? Wait a second, Jared. Wait a second. Did I really? I did. Let's see, I'm a boomer. I didn't even realize I was doing this. Well, hold on. Let's click on you again. And then we go games. So actually, that was the one. So maybe now this is the one. Hold on. All right. I haven't done this yet. So Jared, I think we... now you have to finish to see if your analysis is the same. Okay. Do the one with Borton. Okay. Borton. Which one's Borton, though? This guy? Hold on. Is this Borton? I can't tell. There's a guy called Eddie. And then this guy. I don't know. Which one's Borton? Bortoli. Okay, let's do Bortoli. All right. So, the good news is we don't have as many graduates today, so it's a mellow show. Time usage looks pretty good. Also looks like you blitzed out your first 6 moves here. Maybe that's a pattern that we want to just mellow you out a little bit. It's the longest time control I've ever played, 60-60. And I think I was unprepared for the depth of focus and thought that is required. Fair. And I'll say, one of the things really I've been turned on to just by doing so many of these graduate shows is it takes a while for the mental stamina to be developed, right? For like deep system 2, thinking forever. Later with GMs, we don't oftentimes think about it because our problem is often, well, we're thinking too long, boss. You gotta stop thinking, buddy. Move. But I've really seen it that it's a thing that requires some time to work up to, and I'm sure it was challenging at first. That's why our time controls are much quicker for the lower cohorts. And as you go up, you have to go a little bit slower. Okay, so let's look at this Bortoli game. Fine, everything fine. Okay. And so here, I kind of don't like it, but you are kind of killing the knight. I'd prefer a move like knight bd2. Bishop d7, weird, right? What should they do? They need to fix the bishop, probably queen e7 threatening e5. In any case, let's carry on. If this is your crime, Jared, And it's a very minor crime. H6. Now, one of the things I really want you to see, okay, is at this level, they're going to keep giving you time again and again and again, right? So, for me, for sure, bishop d3. Just put it out there where it's most active. Weird. Now, you should probably try to explain why you did it, you know? It looks like maybe you want to hit that knight, but look at that knight. Like the value of c3 was just that you cut him, right? That he's not doing anything. All right, so here we go. b4. He takes. I don't know if that's a good move. And then he's terrified of your thing, see? So he loses time here, a6. We call that reactive chess, right? He's not actually thinking. This knight's terrible. If you hit him, you should be like, oh, thank you. Thank you for encouraging me to go. Oh, ChessDojo. How come you can't fix your business, boss? Come on, I'm sorry about that, you guys. Oh, how can we fix this? It's all messed up too, Kraai. You need to fix this. All right, move it down. We're gonna make this larger too. I'm very sorry about that, guys. It was your fault for not telling me earlier. All right, I want the full screen over here. We want to see the time. We also want to see the notation. It's a lot to see, isn't it? Okay, now the bummer with that though is I really gotta squidge it down. You know, maybe, is that the best view? Maybe I lose a little bit of the clock. I don't know, the clock time is so valuable. I have not come up with the best system for this yet. Okay. Okay, so, sorry about that, let's get back. All right, so a6, loss of time. Bishop d3, fine, fine. Now here's interesting, you're saying it's hanging, but it's not hanging. It's just, you know, it could potentially be loose, and you have this instinct to make it more secure on e2. But look, it's far more active on d3. And here, maybe your queen will go to e2 someday. Weird, losing time. Good move, I like it. I like it. Don't let him trade. Very good. Good. Yeah. You could have done other things too. And now, though, this is where you make your big mistake with f3. You need to either play knight c6 or more plausibly a3. So this is an example of what is actually going to decide matters at this level, okay? And the guy doesn't even, well, to me, knight takes b4 is a real problem. He goes about it a little bit differently and plays knight e5. So, are you, in fact, losing a pawn after knight e5? I think your position is definitely worse after knight d5, but you're not losing a pawn, right? You can recapture with the knight if you need to. Okay, so let me stress this. My theory, and this has been confirmed a lot, I feel, is that in the under 1,000 cohorts, what's really deciding the games, okay, the tempo thing is great, very important. It's a huge competitive advantage because your people are going to be giving you time. But what's deciding the game is people hanging stuff like f3. And, you know, I think the tactics tests are good. I'm going to have a video. Actually, we have a video guy, and he's just like slowing on my video down. Anyways, he's busy. He's working on it. What am I trying to say? The thing I say in this video is that the tactics and all this other fancy stuff is a way to enable your mind to gain a grip on the squares. Because in the under 1,000 cohorts, what people are missing is like this kind of basic thing. And most moves, you see it, but you need to hold the line for moves and moves and moves and moves, right? And then you'll be 1,000, because that's what's going on. Now, black misses it too. And then this was a mistake. And then now, Queen C4 is actually pretty kind of a cool move. Queen G5, very good. Notice this is looks like a blunder anyway over here. That looks nice. So yeah, they would have to find Queen G5. And we might be in big trouble here. Well, the game kind of goes on though. The game goes on. If I was black, I would steal the pawn because I'm a loser. But I'm going to be so happy that I got that pawn. Okay, so this goes down. No bueno. Oh, very nice move from black. Very nice move. Okay, notice that it really ties you down, and that's what we call an octopus there on E3. An octopus because he's hitting 8 very tender squares. Big deal that he's hitting this one, especially because we'll never be able to challenge with the rook. Simple and strong. And then rook h4, very nice. Very nice. And then that's got to be a blunder. Yeah, and then now we're going to lose this one. Now, I got to say, black played this pretty good. I feel like, maybe this is a dojo game? I can't tell. But black played a couple of moves. I mean, they missed knight takes b4, but where they really played it nicely was queen d4, solidifying the knight on e3. That was great. Okay. So, good game. And let's go back. And next up is Bestie Boots. Bestie Boots says, I am brain dead after analyzing my recent game and really wish I had something thoughtful to say here. Okay. Well, that was thoughtful. That was thoughtful. So 790 and playing a lot of rapid over here. We want you to take the tests over here to see if it gain a sense where you are. My sense is you also haven't done these that much, or else they would be higher or closer to your rating. Clubs, Coders in Boston. All right. Now, looks like we're dealing with mostly tactics. It's fine. Everyone's first chess workbook. Great. Okay, now. Oh, Dojo 1.0. How about that? That's always nice to see. All right, games. This is going to be Tony Rubak. This ends my knowledge of this opening. I like that a lot. Okay, so good time usage from both players. Let's just see what the time, so it's 30 plus 30. Or the 60 plus 30, excuse me. Fine. 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 Now, you have many moves that would have been good, and what you're doing is you are playing Grandmaster chess simply by following the opening principles. And this move, wait, recall she who birthed me and her many wise words. Knight c6, from a GM perspective, is a little bit funky because the pawn on c7 is now blocked from participating. However, from the perspective of development and probably even the computer, I'm going to guess it's just fine. Okay? Good. You like bishop e7 better. Now, I said good. I'm just happy if you develop. The question will be, will our d5 pawn become tender? There is some value to putting the bishop on d6, however. And now you played h6. H6 makes some sense, honestly. Not only will you later have the Luft concern, but you don't have to worry about bishop g5. So I think h6 is okay. Takes, and this really helps you. You should rejoice, because now your bishop will be out. That was your one problem. Rook e1. Honestly, looking over this game, I feel like I lost after h6 instead of developing my rook. No, you're doing fine. You're doing fine here. Watch out, boy, she'll chew your pawn. Okay. Bishop f5 is fine. Rook e8 would also be fine. There's nothing wrong with your position here. If you wanted to be ultra safe, you could move your knight so that you could put the pawn here. You're doing fine. Okay, now we need a good move. I think you should here play knight a5. That would be my intuition here. And then next move we can play c6, and we're doing fine. So bishop b4, now that gets loose. If you've made a mistake, it's this one. e3. Okay, I like your analysis and variations. I could well imagine the belief that white is a little bit better here. Notice though, still knight a5. I'm gonna get this outpost. This is what Tal calls the trampoline square. I'm trampolining off the side of the wall to come back in. Okay. And there's no need to do that. Just play bishop h7. Now things are looking weird. This was my intent. So if we just go back a second, if you just, this knight is off sides. If we just go back, how is he going to get us? I think you thought this was under attack, but it's not. Look at that. And look, even though, yeah, now white's got problem pieces too. This one's out of play. This one, no one knows what it's doing over there. Right? So here you were doing fine. It's a good rule for anybody that when you find yourself about to really kind of go crazy, this is a time to think about, oh, let me show you a new feature of the dojo. I turned this off for a vid I was doing, but what I'm allowed to do is show elapsed time next to move. So when we look at this, you spent 2 minutes on 94, and then this one you played very quickly, and then this one you actually thought a lot about. I very much agree with your evaluation now, too, after bishop c8. I think. White still has their own problems here. Yeah. So c4, and what's funky about this is I'm going to guess white didn't realize that knight a5 wasn't winning a pawn. It's because it looks like it is. But then here's the dirty trick, where if you play knight c4, right, then bishop c4 is going to happen. Oh, bummer. And then our knight's hanging. That's very unfortunate. So I feel like that was an unlucky break. White got lucky, because normally c4, I don't think they planned it, you know. So if you don't like a move like knight a5, say what you should have done. I think, you know, you play here, here. Keep your big fat knight there if you can. I don't know if you can. You might have to worry about d5. But that's a little bit of a conversation, because I don't know exactly what's going down here either. Maybe I'm just blowing it for you here. Anyways, we would want to know what else to do in this position, right? This looks weird, but maybe. Here the intention would be queen b7, knight a5. Yeah, we might want to consider that move. Yeah. All right. So knight a5, he gets lucky. f5 takes. Knight d6. Okay. Why aren't we considering taking, though? Let's take this pawn. Something dramatic going to happen? Now, white is by all means better here, but we should take the pawn. Let's take that pawn. Let's take that pawn. Okay, good move. Good move. I think you want to play king h7 because, or let me put it this way, you need to do something about this knight who needs to improve itself. So king h7 takes away that knight's ability to do that. And now you got a little crazy here with g5. Now, let me just stress, the position is poor. It's very poor at this point. However, especially at this level, there's still a lot to work with, right? We have really just, this is our major weakness. Yes, maybe some kind of thing like g4 at some point, but he can't do it because the knight's here. And if anything, the knight, I think, wants to do something like that, which is kind of what you encourage him now to do, right? We cannot play king h8. We can't let the knight in. So, you know, a simple, it's a hard life, by the way, but maybe something like bishop d7 to bring our people out. Okay, king h7. b6, okay. g4. I don't like g4. The guy is making life hard on himself. Knight e5, followed by rook here, and whenever we want the knight here or the rook there, oh my gosh, look at how strong that knight would be. This allows you to get some counterplay. Good move. Okay. Queen f6, good move. Now, it is a problem with this rook bc1. Knight e8, it's sad. Dang. Oh, man. Oh, we're crispy critters. Well, that's how it happens. That's how it happens. Yep. That's how it goes down. So, knight e5. I think, now, they probably are winning, but this g4 move definitely made it more complicated than it needed to be. Let's see if we could do it a little bit better. I don't know. The knight on e5 is just so strong. Oh, what are you supposed to do? Oh, yeah. Well, okay. Now, I do want to say, like, for an under 1,000 cohort game, this is pretty strong. It's pretty strong. I don't know what you're supposed to do here. I mean, he's tearing you apart. I might have tried that too. And he doesn't take on a8. Yeah. No, I think they can take on a8. It would surprise me if they can't. So that you spooked him. You spooked him. And now he doesn't, oh, you're living. You're living. Okay, now you played c takes. This was, I don't know, he's giving you a lot of chances here. And here's where you should have, no, this guy is giving you all kinds of hope. He's giving you all kinds of hope. Yeah. No, I mean, technically we're lost, but no, we don't resign here. This person is giving you hope. All right, bishop e6. I don't know what the move does. I do like, h5 is kind of weird, but, you want to make him worry about something over there. See, the guy doesn't know what's going on. Why aren't we taking the bishop? Because we got a cheap threat? Oh, man. Yeah, we take the bishop. Okay, so Bessie Boots. What I see is like a clinical sense of, like, it's gone bad. Okay, for everybody, you're going to get a position that goes bad. But don't despair. Your opponent, especially at this level, is going to give you chances. And they found a couple of good moves, but they didn't take the rook. They didn't take the rook. And all of this stuff you're doing is a little unconventional, but you were developing. And even that move, I have sympathy with. I don't like this one. Now I think you're fine, right? But notice that in your notes, you're full of despair here. But look at your pieces. There's none of your pieces that are getting cracked here. You're doing absolutely fine. And something that's going on is something that happens to GMs too, where because later things don't work out for you, you blame this position. But this position's fine. Totally fine. Okay. So, that was Bestie Boots. Next up is Jags. Jags says, another graduation, the second since I've joined the dojo. With the puzzle training, chess tactics for kids, and working through Smithy's opening fundamentals course on Chessable, I've noticed I'm seeing the board and tactical motifs better in my games now. A couple of recent ones in particular turned when my opponent made a seemingly innocent move, a blunder, and they got punished for it. So the training plan is working. Next up, if I can swing it with family life, I'd like to play an OTB tournament for the first time and start on my way to gaining a Canadian rating. Okay, totally cool. So, oh, and Jags is here. Yes, we can. So, here's Jags. Nice. Distance run. Okay, nice. I like it. So, checkmate tests, 832. The tactics ratings, more or less corresponding. We want him to do some tactics tests. Clubs. Toronto. There we go. There we go. Activity. We want to go down one too. So 38 hours here. Looking very strong, good macro distribution. Okay. Games. And we have a request. He wants to do the Dougallonian. Oh, that's weird. He says he's done 3 tests but still don't have a rating for it. That's weird. We develop these tests, and it's a whole project to develop them and make sure everything's right and yada yada. If you could check that for me, just check that you've done the tests and it's giving you a score for them. And if so, then write back, and then I'll ask Jack about it, because that is weird. It should be giving you a score. Usually it gives you a score even if you've just done one, but it'll say a question mark, so it means like you haven't finished all 3 yet. Ratings are not updating correctly on the rating page. All right, I'm going to ask Jack about it. There's something going wrong with the page today, too. Jack was saying something like it's a Wix problem, or I don't know. I'm not the tech guy. I'm not the tech guy. All right. Test rating. All right, here we go. This looks good so far. Markets reviewed. And very nice time management. Great. And we're dealing with game 60, it looks like. Game 30, excuse me. Okay, see, we got all the times up here. So, very fancy. Okay, now, this is the speech I give. Just take my speech, okay? So, this is a very highfalutin thing you're doing, and the speech I give every time, I know people are bored of hearing it, is that it's best, really is best, not to do serious opening work until you are over 1200. And even over 1200, you want to take it kind of slow. The point is, I know everyone's heard it before, okay, is that by learning how to play principled moves, you're actually gaining a lot more. And if you have some like system and you call it Benko Gambit declined, it's going to be You're going to lose that chance. Okay, speech over. B3, a little bit weird. G6, here we go. Poor move. Now, what's going on? Your opponent doesn't understand time. Very common. You're going to get this again and again. People will not understand time. So here we go. Pop. Here you thought for a little bit. And B takes C4 is definitely a mistake. And it's part of the reason this is a very highfalutin opening. The idea of B5 in the Benko is really several-fold. One, when they take, you play A6. It's so complicated to explain, I didn't want to do it. But the reason we're going to talk about BC being a mistake is at the moment, you're making it difficult for white to develop the knight to the most natural square. So what should we do? We should castle, right? And don't worry about CB. All right, pop, pop, and now check. Doesn't make any sense. This also, not a huge fan of bishop C3. Queen D2 makes more sense to me. Knight BD2 was also very to the point. Okay, here we go. Bishop C3. Queen B6 doesn't make sense. Maybe Queen A6. Knight D7. Good that you're developing. E3. A little weird. Knight BD2 intending E4 makes more sense. Okay, they're developing. A5. Okay, kind of interesting. Let me give you a sense of how complicated so what we're doing. We can talk about it now. When we play the Benko, okay, the idea is that we have a Benoni structure. This is called a Benoni structure. We have the pawns like this. And when we have that structure, we're generally going to eventually lose in the king in the middle of the board and then our king side. So we need to create drama before that happens, and we kind of want an endgame. It would be nice if we had an endgame. So A5, A4 maybe, but kind of white wants to play Queen C2, Knight D2, followed by E4, and then the rest of the business. And it's not clear how you're going to get any play going over on that side of the board. In any case, mistake. How are these games decided? I've said it already. They're decided by somebody hanging something, and that's the case here. Thank you very much. And why aren't we taking D5? We got to take D5. So this is definitely a mistake. You could just take this pawn. Boom. And in addition to bishop B7, you got this move, Knight F6. My guess is you were afraid of this move. Nota bene. This one you played pretty quick. Bishop B7. And now, after E4, we got ourselves a legitimate problem because our pieces now are a little bit tied up. And in principle, I like this move, but if we were going to do it, we should have done it last move because the rook doesn't help us with the E6 break. So E6 now, sure, and it's a complicated game. Okay, so rook C8. E6, takes, A4. A4 is the move of a dude who doesn't appreciate that there's danger. There's danger. Now, let's just stress, this is a very complicated momentito for white, and for black for that matter. And the real question would be for white, could they play Knight C4 before you achieve your D5 move? Because correctamundo, you play D5 and now you have some great center control. Oh no, mouse. Keep those pawns together. Look at that. When you keep them together, you control all these. Look at all this massive square control you've got now. Bishop D5, now this knight is free to do something like Knight C4. Castles, they're probably knight c4 stronger. Okay, I kind of like that move, coming to f4. Very frisky. Notice that white isn't fixing their pieces, right? So now c3 looks like a hell of a move, as well as your move, knight f4. And here's where the game gets decided. Someone blunders. Very good. Bam. I would definitely say this is a winning position. Rook a7. Fine. You mentioned c3. Very good. I think c3 has to be the move. A little weird. f3. Okay. Well, fast pawns must be pushed. It's what Mama said, right? Let's go. Oh. Yeah, this isn't working out. I just c1 too, a little bit simpler. You did do a lot of analysis here. Okay, so we blundered, but we're still winning. Very good. Oh, that was a mistake. They got to try knight e2. Let's take simple chess. Simple chess. Felt this was the spot to move. You could also go f6, but that's fine. Queen. Very nice. It's going to be mate. No, very nice. Very nice. Okay. And you didn't have a lot of time left. Okay. You're playing somebody. A lot of times this happens, we play people online. They're not really using their time. So, when you... I've got a protected spot to chill out. I like that. When you're playing these people, right, it's whatever opening course you studied, it's not going to work out like that because they're going to lose time with b3, with h3, and so on. I know you're not. I know people aren't listening to me, but I just want to say it. And then I think the things, though, that are really going to decide whether you make it to the next level are the tactical opportunities. And winning the pawn on d5, I think, was a big deal. So, like, again, that's where the games will be decided. And where was it over here? You had knight takes d5 right here, right? And it's a completely winning position. I mean, it's not just a pawn. You've taken over the center completely. But good. You're making progress. This is good. Really good. Okay, so that's Jags. And I got to go back up to Canada, man. I played a bunch of tournaments out in Edmonton and Calgary. Okay, so here we go. Next up is Joe Bond. Joe Bond doesn't have much to say. Let's see what's going on with Joe Bond. We'll follow Joe Bond. Nah, Joe Bond ain't got nothing for us. Joe Bond, what's going on? Nothing. Nothing. Well, Joe Bond, there's nothing we can say. There's nothing we can say. All right, last one of today's show. Lost in Ekaim. I Googled it last time, and I forgot already what it was. All right, Google it again. It's always a mistake. It could be something horrendous. Ekamai. Oh, it's something Thai related. All I get is Ekamai Thai restaurant. But I guess, it's a place in Bangkok. When I'm free someday, I'm going to go check it out. So, Ekamai, dude, you are ready to graduate even another time. Because look at this thing. You're flying up there. It's done the checkmate test, but not anything else. Let's do it! Clubs. All right. We're in the Asian Dojo. And the Louisiana Dojo. All right. Activity. And we're going to go back 26 hours. Okay, looks good. Let's see if we got a game for Lost in a Comment. We do. So this was submitted just yesterday. Markets, and then times aren't there. 30 plus 20. Okay. And now you missed B4, right? So knight A5, they're moving instantly. Well, actually we can't. Actually, this does, well, maybe, actually it's showing 0 for the whole time, so that's not actually a true representation of the times. So there it is, boom, B4, winning a piece, game over. These are the things that will decide the game. The mistake, knight A5, and then the ability to trap the knight with B4. So C4, B6. Okay, I like that you're developing. I like that you're developing. I like that you're developing. Okay, good. Now, so besides missing the piece, your development is fantastic. And now you played queen d2. Now, I think there might be some critiques to this move, but in general, you're doing the right thing. Bam, good move. I kind of wanted you to do that earlier, but I'm happy you do it now. Because notice, the fianchettoed knight, it's just terrible, right? It's just terrible. Now you take, and this worries me a little bit. I just don't think we need to do it. Because now that bishop gets at least something to do. You go here. Okay. And now they blunder. And we need to play queen c7. Very nice. You say thank you very much. And now you play knight d5. Okay. And then that doesn't look right. It looks like we're hanging a pawn or something. Got to drop a pawn here, but we'll be able to put my bishop on a better square. Now, this is very important. When we're doing the analysis, we really want to check, are we really dropping something, right? Maybe we are, but let me just ask, like, let's say we go here. How do we actually lose a pawn? It's not clear to me. It's not clear. There might be some way out, but at least I'm not finding it immediately. It is a little scary because he's got this business going on and everything. But it's looking... Now, maybe we have to analyze this move? I don't know. And then the other obvious thing to say is, before we drop the pawn, if we decided bishop d3 was no good for whatever reason, well, then we would take and then move our rook. We're still up a pawn. It's looking good. Notice, this guy's horrendous. So this is poor. He's at least trying. At least trying. Okay, now you murder his kingside. Okay, I can get behind that. Good move. Tricky, but it does make sense. I think this is an example of playing for tricks. Because at the very least, you need an answer to this one. We definitely don't want to trade queens. We'd like to mate the guy. And then to me, it's a little complicated now. Like, for example, is that winning? I'm not immediately sure it is, but that's what I would then look at. But again, I'm not absolutely sure it is. Maybe takes here. Rook f6. Am I winning? I'm saying, I don't know. Right? So this was a dirty trick that you did on him. And boom, it worked. So that's good. Ekamai is in Bangkok. Yep. Okay, you guys. So it's a short show today. I'm busy making all these tests. We're going to have the endgame. All the endgame tests are going to be up soon. And very soon, we're going to have the positional tests up. So I'm looking forward to that. So let me do one quick thing. If you have a game you want me to look at, or one of the other senseis, you can go put yourself in the sensei game review queue, and I just check in on that every once in a while to make sure that nobody's got something in the queue. All right, my friends, I will be back tomorrow for more of the graduation show. And who are we going to raid? There's somebody named Uncle Jesse. We got to see who that is. Got to see Uncle Jesse. All right, everybody, I will see you tomorrow. Come check out the training program if you have not already. It's a beautiful thing. Every day, it gets a little bit better. Bye, everybody.